Hello everyone, welcome to Chip Confessions. In this video, we shall see how rand mode can be implemented in the code. In the previous video, we saw how constraint mode works, and in this video, we are going to see the working of rand mode. For that, we shall take an example of a code snippet. Let us write the code now. Let's take a class. Let the name of the class be my class. Let it be ended with end class. We shall declare two variables, say with the help of rand keyword, so that the randomization can happen over these variables. Rand bit 7 down to 0 A and rand bit 7 down to 0 B. Let us write constraints over these variables. Constraint is optional, but let us write constraint and see how the rand mode or constraint mode is going to work. Constraint C1. Let us write constraint for variable A. A should be greater than, let us take some 10, so that whenever we randomize, A will take the value greater than 10. Let us write another constraint. Let us say it's C2. Let us write this constraint for variable B, and let it be B should be less than 20. We are done with declaring the variable and then writing the constraint. We shall take a module now. Module, let the name of the module be TB, ending with end module. And then let us declare the object of type my class. My class, let the name of the object be MC, and we can write the constructor here itself, or we can write inside the initial block also. Let us take the initial block starting with begin and ending with end, and then we have to randomize now. So MC dot randomize, and then we shall display the result. A equal to %d, comma B equal to %d, MC dot A and MC dot B. Whenever we are accessing a variable declared inside the class, means that is whenever we are accessing a variable outside the class, for that we have to access it with the help of the object of the type of the same class where the variable is declared. Now we shall see how this is going to work. Okay, we are getting A is equal to 143 and B is equal to 17. So B is less than 20 and A is greater than 10. So these two variables are getting randomized and these two constraints are also getting satisfied. So what we have to see now is how we have to use rand mode. For that rand mode, before randomization, what we have to do is we have to take the object name. Object name is MC here. Object name dot rand mode of 0. As we saw in the constraint mode, rand mode is similar to the constraint mode, where the constraint mode we are passing the argument either 0 or 1 to enable or disable the constraint. In the same way, to enable or disable the randomization itself, we are going to pass the variable either 1 or 0. That is, rand mode of 0 disables the randomization, whereas rand mode of 1 enables the randomization. By default, randomization is enabled, and whenever we are explicitly disabling the randomization, at that time we are using rand mode. And for that we can use object dot rand mode of 0 to disable the randomization for all the variables pertaining to that object. or if we want to disable the randomization only for a particular variable, at that time object dot variable name dot rand mode of 0. This is how we can disable the randomization for a particular variable. And to enable the randomization after disabling, what we have to do is same thing we have to do, but only change is we are passing the argument, instead of 0 we are passing 1. This is how we can enable the rand mode or enable the randomization after disabling it explicitly. Now what we are doing here is in this code we are disabling the randomization for complete or all the variables. That's why object name dot rand mode of 0. Now we shall see how this behaves. A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0, both A and B 0 we are getting, but what we can see is randomization failed, the condition of the randomized call cannot be satisfied. Why we are getting this warning? We are getting this warning because we are disabling the randomization, but we have given the constraint here. Means we have told like A should be greater than 10. What the compiler do is it disables the randomization, but still it wants to satisfy the constraint what we have given for A. So what is happening here is A should be greater than 10, at the same time randomization should be disabled. So these two are contradicting each other. That's why we are getting randomization failed, condition of randomized call cannot be satisfied warning here. That we can find by using assert keyword here, which says whether the randomization is failed or passed. We shall run the code and see now. Here we are seeing the error. Immediate assert condition mc.randomize failed at time 0 nanosecond. Okay, so there we were getting only warning like randomization failed like that. If we use assert, whenever the randomization is getting failed, at that time we can see an error message telling that the randomization is getting failed. How we can avoid this? What we can do is either we can explicitly disable the constraint mode. Before disabling the randomization. See, the thing is, if we are disabling the randomization itself, then there is no meaning in keeping the constraint. That is one thing. So let us disable the constraint mode now and we shall see how this is going to work. We have disabled the constraint mode. In the previous video what we saw is we disabled constraint mode only for particular constraints, either C1 or C2 like that. Now what we are doing, directly we are disabling all the constraints by using object.constraint mode. Means this will disable all the constraints. Instead of using C1 or C2 or any particular constraints, we are disabling constraint mode for all the constraints, so that these two constraints or whatever the number of the constraints we have used inside the class will not be effective. Let us run the code and see are we getting the same error or not. Okay, we are seeing A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 0, but we are not seeing any randomization failure, error or warning here. So the thing is, whenever we have declared a constraint and whenever we want to disable the randomization, at that time the best practice is to disable the constraint first and then to disable the randomization, because we don't know how the compiler or the simulator is going to behave. It can generate a warning or an error. So the best thing is to disable the constraint first and then to disable the randomization. Now let us see how to disable randomization for a particular variable. Whatever we are written here, mc.randmode, same thing I am copying, and mc.a.randmode. Let me comment this. I am disabling rand mode for A now. Before that, let us see, just we are disabling the constraint, and let us run the code and see whether this is randomizing by not considering constraint or not. So we are getting some random values for A and B. So randomization is working fine irrespective of the consideration of the constraints. So what we can do is, let us disable randomization for variable A. Let us run the code and see now how this behaves. So we are getting 0 for A and 231 for B. So the thing is, randomization is not applied on A and randomization is applied on B. Once we disable the randomization, based on the data type we declared, that variable will get the default value. Let us do one thing. Let us declare logic 7 down to 0 A, and let us comment this. Okay, let us run the code and see what value A gets. Because A was getting 0 because the default value of bit is 0. Let us see by giving logic. See, now A is getting the value of unknown. Means whenever the randomization is disabled, if we have not initialized any variable in the new constructor, what happens is that variable will get its default value, whether either it can be unknown or it can be 0. In case of Verilog, whenever we were using wire, it was getting default value of high impedance. But in case of system Verilog, there is no high impedance as a default value. Either we have unknown or we have 0. So based on the data type we declared, A will get either A was getting 0 when it was used with a bit type. Now as we have used logic type, A is getting default value of unknown. We shall check with B now. Same thing, we shall change this A to B and we shall run the code and see how this behaves. So A is getting the value 231, this is something completely random value, and B is getting the value of 0. So we saw how this rand mode is going to work on the variables. This is all for this video. In the next video we shall see some other constraint example. Thank you for watching this video. Keep coding, keep practicing. Please like, share this video and hit the subscribe button so that you will not miss the updates of my further coming videos. Thank you so much.